Hey there, it's Steph. Welcome to the Steph Fox Podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Steph Fox Podcast. I am Steph, and today I'm just flying solo. I just been thinking a lot about a conversation I have with salon owners around coaching and developing their team members. And maybe this sounds familiar to you. The process of leading team can be frustrating, in particular when it feels like they know what to do and then they still don't do it. So that could be, they're supposed to help support the laundry. You've talked to them about folding laundry and then they still don't help fold the laundry without being asked. Or maybe it's you've taught them how to talk about retail and close the sale and they still don't do it. Even if you sit down and coach them and teach them and send them to product knowledge classes, right? Like the list could go on. There are a lot of ways that we see team members show up inside of salons and maybe not fully meet our expectations as leaders. And so I thought what I would help you with today is, if you're a salon owner or manager, I'm going to help you think about what might be happening here and do a little self-assessment on what you could maybe be doing that's creating some of the results that you're getting. Now, disclaimer, I do not believe that you can ever make somebody do anything that they don't want to do. And so are there situations where it is out of your hands, that your team is just not going to participate? They feel like they're not getting paid to do the laundry, so they're not going to fold it, or they're not salespeople, so they're not going to sell retail. Yes, at the end of the day, your role is help them remove the blocks in either understanding or in skill or in capacity that would allow them to be motivated enough to show up. So let me simplify this because I can overtalk in all of my research literature that I spend time looking at. But the very simple breakdown is people will not do what they're not really clear on why they should do it. So if it seems really black and white to you and I that folding towels is necessary because the salon needs towels to work on the clients, in their mind, it's not their job. The gap here really isn't about the laundry. The gap here is, do they have full buy-in on what it means to be part of a team, or what it means to support you, the owner of the salon, who likely, knowing the margins in salons, doesn't have the affordable budget to pay for a laundry support person or to have the laundry outsourced. And so there really is a deep need here for the team to step up and participate. But does the person that you're asking to do the work have the buy-in on the why? Or do they just feel like they're being told what to do? You see, a lot of times when our teams fall off of meeting our expectations, we could go back through some areas where it is actually an us thing. So have we been clear on what we value in the salon? The things that we say matter? And I don't mean 4, 5, 6 values or some mission statement that you told them about at hiring, and maybe they signed the orientation paperwork and it's like, oh yeah, you know our values. I mean like 2 or 3 things that are the foundation of why you're in business. So in my salon, for example, that foundation, number 1, friendliness. Number 1 core value. Be nice, guys, in all situations. And when I recruit, when I am in the schools, when I'm posting on Instagram, when it's on the job description, when I'm in the interview, when I'm in the onboarding, there are all sorts of indicators, very directly and then even subtly, that being kind and friendly to people means more than anything. And then when you come onto my team, let's say you have a terrible client experience, somebody is just nasty to you, we still have to be kind. And we teach you how to do that. When a guest is having a hard day, we're kind to them. When a team member is having a hard day, maybe you walk by and you grab the toner bowl sitting next to them because they're working on a client and you're walking in the back and, why not grab it? Or maybe you bring a coffee in for somebody just because you want to surprise and delight them and make their day. These are all things that show our level of friendliness, that aren't just a piece of paper with a word "we're friendly" written on it. They are the things that we value, and there's behaviors attached to them. And so when I build a team, and I would encourage you to think about when you build your team, and as you're building the team you have, is everybody really clear on what matters? So for us, it was friendliness. And the second most important one that I would spend some time on today with you is growth. Can you be nice and are you willing to grow? Because if you're not living in those two camps, I'm not going to love the work as your leader because you're probably not aligned to me. And oh my gosh, does it go downhill quickly? It being your ability to grow and drive performance out of a person if they're not aligned to what you actually think matters the most. Because that's when you're now kind of in this tug of war of the why. And it's no fun. It is defeating to feel like you have to explain the why on the back half of the experience. And so I just want to invite you to think about, where have you missed the boat in being clear before they even ever joined your team? Now, if they're already on your team and you have some clarity gaps to close, that's different. And you can certainly have a team meeting and do a little powwow to get people bought into, these are the things that we say matter. And feel free to reach out to me. I've got all sorts of thoughts on what the frameworks for those look like. And if you just shoot me a message on Instagram, Steph_Fox, or you send me an email, I am happy to share some of those over with you. But are we clear? And then are we modeling it? So was I modeling friendliness? Was I modeling growth, right? Was I doing the behaviors that I was asking the team to do? And then when the team isn't showing up, when somebody is not doing the thing I asked them to do, am I a high accountability leader? And not just high accountability, but also high love. Do they know, because the way that I've shown up and modeled things to them and around them, that I deeply care about them? And now I have the ability to say, hey, gosh, I wish I didn't have to have this conversation, but I noticed that you're not really helping in the back room when you have downtime. And it really impacts the rest of the team because everybody's super busy, but laundry needs done. And we're here to support each other. We care about friendliness, and what greater show of friendliness is there than making sure that your team is set up for success? My expectation is if you've got downtime, you help with the laundry. What do you think about that? But if I'm shy of that conversation, or if I don't want to have that conversation, well, then it's like I looked the other way. I've affirmed for them that this thing that I said mattered, called laundry in this case, wasn't really that important after all. And I see so many salon owners step right out of this, guys. Like, sometimes you're good at setting the expectation on the front end and you struggle with the accountability. Sometimes you didn't ever set the expectation, or it wasn't clear. And then now you're super accountable with them and they feel a little affronted, like, well, I never knew that. So why does all of this matter? Well, you need to love the work. Gosh, I talk to owners all day, every day, and managers all day, every day that are so overwhelmed with the work of leading and growing a salon. And it's your state of being. It's the way that you're looking at the business. And so I just want to invite you to zoom out a little and just kind of big picture look at, like, where doesn't it feel the way you wish it would feel, and what would have to change in order for it to feel that way. And I'm pretty certain, I know I've had to do this activity more than once for myself, and I do this all the time with clients. I'm pretty certain you're going to see some opportunities to say, wow, we could be more clear on what matters, and we could get people bought into it, and we could model it better. And if we did those things and we were brave enough to lean into accountability with people, we would see a different behavior out of them. Because you see, it goes leader state, it's the way you show up and your energy, and then that impacts your leader behavior. Leader behavior impacts your team state. So what's their mindset? How are they feeling? Are they bracing for you? Are they excited to see you? And then their state impacts their behavior. And then, of course, however they behave, now we're in a big old circle because it comes right back to you and your state. And so that's where it begins and that's where it ends, is what's going on in your head around the situation. So if you're frustrated with your team, guys, you gotta look in the mirror. You certainly can't be accountable for everything they do or don't do, but you can be accountable for being clear. You can be accountable for showing up and being of service to them, making sure that they know what's expected, modeling it, coaching them, holding them accountable to it. This is a big old loop, and it is the work of leading. And I think that what I would close with today, just to keep this short and tight for you, is if you don't love leading, like if you're feeling burnout by it, this is my invitation to you to really check back in on how you want to feel about the work and ask yourself what would have to change in the business to feel that way. Because if you can get into that higher frequency, be more excited about the work, you can change your state. And if you can change your state as a leader, then you are in the mindset to think about what you think matters for those values. And then you can start thinking about how you're going to teach and be clear on those values. And then you can model them because you're going to live them out every day. And then you can hold people accountable and not feel like a fraud because you're doing them. So you can see how this is just all so intricately connected. But gosh, does it start with how you feel about all of the work in the first place. So maybe spend some time today with a journal or a notepad or even a friend if it's easier to talk it out. And talk about how do you want to feel in this work and what's in the way of that. And if you have questions or if you have some awarenesses, pop over to Instagram, share with me. I love to hear from you. And if you enjoy this episode and want some future thought prompts from myself as a leader or from the people that I bring on to share with you every week, then be sure to give us a follow and we'll catch you in the next episode.